By the time President Mahama left office, I want to put it on record, 1 year before he left office, we never declared load shedding. We never. And the records are here with the Energy Commission and with Gridco. And you see, it's not for me to say that load shedding is ended or is not ended. There are authoritative state institutions that declare load shedding over. And so it's not even for politicians to do that. And so if you tell me that you took over when we still had load shedding, the first question is, okay, when did you end it? You must have a terminal period. Because if you make the claim that, look, when you took over, load shedding was persistent, then you must tell us when you ended it.
Gideon is here. He's written an article on that aspect. He will try to convince us, because I am one of those who have had a difficulty understanding when the NPP says we ended Dumso.
I don't get it. And Dr. Bawumia is on record. He said, I think in February or March 2016, that Mahama deserves no credit for fixing Dumso. That is public knowledge. So I don't know how he's situating it. And I'm happy that my good friend Gideon is here, so that viewers can and listeners can follow the trajectory, how Dr. Bawumia wants to situate it. Now let's come to their period. We've had coronavirus. I think we are less than 2 months. So what are we comparing? Is it 2 months of your coronavirus to the 2 or 3 years that President Mahama had to deal with this challenge? The IMF, the World Bank, Bank of Ghana, and the ministry itself is projecting that will grow at 1.5%. So let's take Dr. Bawumia's statement to be true. When we had this challenge, we grew at about 3% or 3.6. I'll just refer. Now you are faced with a similar challenge and you are projected to grow at 1.5. 2, if you look at, and we'll go into the real figures, even the data that Dr. Bawumia is referring to, you remember we've challenged the basis of those figures. And I'm sure that at the opportune time, myself and Gideon will get into the data and the figures. Because if we believe that your figures are flawed, if we believe that the data is inaccurate, it becomes difficult to do a comparison. Because you cannot compare flawed data with accurate data. You must compare apples with apples and oranges with oranges. The deficit, you've seen the projection for this year. The year hasn't even ended. You haven't taken the data. And so if you say that, look, compare Akufo-Addo with Mahama, and that Akufo-Addo is done better in terms of the management of the economy with COVID, and that Mahama did worse under a Dumso situation, you can only be comparing outturns. Because only when you have outturns, they will then be looking at the macro figures, looking at some other indicators, and saying that based on the outturns, your figures are better than that of mine. So I hold the view that what Dr. Bawumia did was absolutely, in my opinion, unnecessary. And if you subject it to proper scrutiny, you will come to the fact that you don't know exactly what he is comparing with in terms of the macro indicators. And so this